So the DCEU has come to a close. I honestly can't keep track anymore. I think Blue Beetle is counted in this new universe. I think Flash basically restarted the universe. I don't know. It's clear that DC is still trying to figure out what they're doing. But we can trust in James Gunn for now. Anyways, the DCEU is finished, so now it's time to take a look back at all these movies and all these heroes and find out who truly was the most powerful. Yeah, we're gonna rank each hero from weakest to strongest. So let's get to it. What's up guys, I'm Daniel and this is DanCo. We do fight breakdowns every week, plus the occasional power ranking video like this one or things like that. So if that seems interesting to you, we'll sit back and enjoy the video. Hit that like button. And if you want to, we'll hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Now let's get to it. Now, what is a hero? Well, I guess you could go all philosophical on it, but for our purposes here, a hero is anyone who's fighting bad guys and facing off against evil. Is Superman a hero? You betcha. Are Bloodsport and Harley Quinn? Yeah, they're heroes too. What about Alfred or Jim Gordon or even Jor-El? All heroes, so they'll be included on the list. But we are limiting it to everyone who primarily resided in the DCEU or played a major part in it, because we can't include every single cameo or every little nod to other universes. Secondly, this list isn't really meant to say that each hero can beat all the others. So like if you're ranked number 23, then you can always beat everyone ranked 24 or below. Or even to say that if you're ranked number 5, you don't have a shot at taking number 2 down in a fight. It's more just a general power ranking based on their overall power level. Amon Thomas is just a kid, a very brave kid, and a kid who happens to be best buddies with Black Adam, but still just a kid. He's there to drive the plot along and be saved by the powerful hero, not really be a powerful hero on his own. Same with Cassandra Cain, just to a slightly lesser degree. She's a good pickpocket, can handle herself in a pinch along with Harley in the Birds of Prey, but oh, what could have been. Let's just take a moment to reflect on the true Cassandra Cain, the Batgirl, instead of whoever this actually is. Eagly is a pet bald eagle, Peacemaker's trusty sidekick, and I love him for it. Yeah, let me just say that I really wouldn't want a massive bird of prey with razor-sharp talons flying straight towards my face. Not my idea of a good time. Silas Stone was the head of Star Lab, the one directly responsible for transforming his son Vic Stone into the biomechanic hero Cyborg. Silas loved his son more than anything, was very brave even in the face of danger. He stood up to Steppenwolf when he was kidnapped by the parademons, and even sacrificed his life in order to help the Justice League mark the Mother Box. Kareem is Amon's uncle and helped his nephew and his sister fight against Intergang, find the crown of Sabbac, and free Black Adam. After that, he later joined up with Black Adam and the Justice Society to fight against Sabbac and the Legions of Hell, freeing Kahndaq from oppression. Just tell him to look out for electricity. John Economist was a member of Argus and a part of Mission Control for Task Force X. As revenge for disobeying her, Amanda Waller put him on the team in charge of bringing in Peacemaker and taking down the Butterflies. Economist started out very insecure and unsure of himself, constantly getting picked on by Peacemaker, but after taking down Judo Master and a giant rampaging gorilla, John began to come into his own, began to form a friendship with Peacemaker, and learned that he had what it took to be a hero. Leota Adebayo is the daughter of Amanda Waller, and after losing her job working at a dog shelter, her mom offered her a mission to save the world and stop an invasion by butterflies. She was definitely unsure of her place on the team, or if she even wanted to be a part of this world of superheroes and secret missions at all. But as time went on, she learned that she definitely had a little bit of her mother in her. Adriana Tomez was a former professor at Kahndaq University, before becoming a freedom fighter who led the resistance in Kahndaq. She's the one who freed Black Adam from his prison, then she helped him see his purpose and teamed up with the Justice Society in order to free Kahndaq from Intergang and the Legions of Hell. Lois Lane definitely isn't your average reporter. She was the one who cracked the Superman case and helped Clark step into his place as a savior of humanity. She played a crucial part in stopping the Kryptonian invasion, is ballsy enough to stand up to Kryptonians on her own, participated in a fight against the monster Doomsday, and was the one who managed to expose Lex Luthor's numerous crimes to the world, sending him off to prison. Richard Hertz, also known as BLACKGUARD, was a criminal who used a special combat suit and equipment for jobs. He was a member of the first Task Force X strike team sent to Corto Maltese. When the team arrived on the island, he instantly betrayed them in a vain attempt to gain his freedom. It didn't really work out for him. Charlie was an ally for Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor during World War I, serving as a member of the Wonder Men. He's an excellent shot, but does suffer from PTSD from the war. Samir was another ally for Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor during World War I, was an excellent spy during the war. Weasel is just like any other weasel, just a giant weasel that killed 27 children. Became a member of the Suicide Squad during the Corto Maltese mission, only to instantly drown as soon as he jumped out of the plane. Renee Montoya was a former detective for the Gotham City PD, whose obsession with Black Mask led to her building a case against the crime lord, only to then join up with the Birds of Prey in order to help take him down. Alfred Pennyworth is the butler, chief of security, and close friend and surrogate father for Bruce Wayne. He's helped Batman protect Gotham for over 20 years, helped Batman when he fought against Superman, when Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman fought against Doomsday, and helped when the Justice League took down Steppenwolf. Plus, with Alfred being former SAS, you know he's more than able to hold his own in a fight. Chief was a Native American who became a skilled smuggler during World War I, was also an ally of Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, and a member of the Wonder Men. He also may or may not have been the demigod Nappy. Corey Pitzner, also known as the Detachable Kid or TDK, is a metahuman with the ability to detach his own arms and telekinetically control them. He used this skill in combat and crime, becoming a convicted felon and member of the Suicide Squad. Upon reaching the island, TDK was forced to confront Corto Maltese's soldiers and showed his skills, but was left in critical condition. Sol Serrera is a native of Corto Maltese and the leader of the Maltese resistance against dictator Sylvia Luna, and teamed up as an ally for the Suicide Squad. After Luna's demise, she and her army were able to topple the tyrannical regime, liberating the country and allowing free elections. Brian Derlin, also known as Savant, was a vigilante and computer hacker who used most of his skills to blackmail people, and after being locked up, became a member of the Suicide Squad. Upon reaching the island, the entire team was ambushed and brutally murdered by the Corto Maltese military. Derlin freaked out and attempted to escape the island, but was killed by Amanda Waller, who detonated the bomb in his head. Trust me, you don't want to mess with Amanda Waller. She's the director of Argus and is a high-ranking government official with ties to several different espionage and law enforcement agencies. But she also tends to act as a rogue or a wild card, playing by her own set of rules as the commanding officer for the Suicide Squad. Commissioner Jim Gordon is the police commissioner for the Gotham City PD, and longtime ally of Batman. And while Gordon might be getting up there in age, that hasn't stopped him from getting absolutely shredded. Gunter Braun, also known as Javelin, was a former German Olympic athlete turned criminal who uses weaponized javelins when committing crimes. He was incarcerated and became a member of Task Force X, where he became close with Harley Quinn. After reaching the island, Ron was killed by soldiers and gave Quinn his javelin, deeming her the only other person he's met fit to carry it. Steve Trevor was a US Army Air Service officer who worked for British intelligence as a spy, as well as an ally and eventual love interest of Wonder Woman, being literally the first man she had ever met. Trevor was an excellent spy during the war, was also a gifted soldier and fighter. Jor-El is Superman's father, the most respected scientist on the planet Krypton, and the foremost member of the Kryptonian Thinkers Guild, as well as being the patriarch of the House of El. He comes to odds with General Zod over the fate of Krypton and its people, and it was Jor-El who led to the birth of Superman. Despite being a member of the Thinkers Guild, Jor-El proved himself to be an extremely skilled and fierce fighter, exceptionally accomplished in several different forms of Kryptonian martial arts, and able to beat down some of the most elite warriors in the Warriors Guild, and even beat General Zod himself. Agent Amelia Harcourt is an NSA agent who worked with Amanda Waller and Argus in order to monitor Task Force X, before being tasked with helping lead the team against the Butterflies and stop their invasion. She's a great fighter, is highly trained in multiple different forms of martial arts, is a skilled shot, and can easily take down most opponents. But there is a limit. Like Harcourt could never put down Judo Master. Helena Bartonelli, better known as Huntress, and by the police and newspapers the Crossbow Killer, is a vigilante, a former assassin, and the only surviving member of the Bertinelli family. After fighting against crime lord Roman Sionis alongside Harley Quinn, Black Canary, and Renee Montoya, she teamed up with Black Canary and Montoya in order to form the crime-fighting group the Birds of Prey. Rick Flag was a US Army colonel, special ops specialist, the field leader of Task Force X, and the greatest soldier the United States military had ever produced. He's in incredible shape as a highly skilled fighter and world-class marksman, although not quite on the same level as someone like Bloodsport or DEADSHOT, and not nearly as good of a fighter as someone like Katana or Peacemaker. George Digger Harkness was a notorious criminal from Australia and a member of the Suicide Squad. Earning the nickname Captain Boomerang, Harkness was an infamous bank robber, renowned to be among the most lethal robbers in the world, with 54 counts of aggravated assault and 98 counts of burglary to his name. Boomerang is a solid fighter, but is truly at his best with his boomerangs, showing off exceptional accuracy and even able to use them as melee weapons. Hippolyta is the queen of the Amazons, the former love of Zeus, and the mother of Wonder Woman. Now, it's kinda tough to gauge just how powerful an average Amazonian is, but we know they're not on average as powerful as Wonder Woman. She definitely seems to be in a class all her own. But still, Hippolyta is superhuman to some degree. She's an exceptionally gifted and talented fighter, both in hand-to-hand combat and especially with her sword. Asteria is the former champion of the Amazons. She was one of their greatest warriors ever, having even earned the title the Golden Warrior. She's so renowned that the Amazon Games are held each year in her honor, and a large golden statue of her stands in the center of the Colosseum. Dinah Lance, also known as Black Canary, is a metahuman with the ability to generate a supersonic scream inherited from her mother. She was a founding member of the Birds of Prey, and the first one to team up with Harley Quinn in order to help protect Cassandra Cain. On top of her incredibly powerful sonic scream, Canary is also a gifted fighter and martial artist, someone who's particularly skilled at kicking. Entropy was the general of the Amazons and Wonder Woman's aunt, being heralded as the greatest warrior in the history of the Amazons. And being the greatest of all the Amazons, she was the one responsible for training Wonder Woman, and could even outmatch Wonder Woman for a time, although that was before Diana tapped into her godhood. Katana is a Japanese samurai assassin named after her weapon of choice, and an infamous master of swordplay and martial arts who trained to the highest levels in the ancient art form. She was a proxy member of the Suicide Squad, but was the only volunteer member who served as the personal bodyguard of Rick Flag. Katana's sword is called the Soul Taker and has mystical properties, able to slice through the toughest of opponents and trap the souls of its victims. Nereus is the king of Zebel and the father of Mera. He initially joined Orm in his plan to unite the kingdoms of Atlantis in order to take on the surface world, but after seeing Aquaman retrieve the Trident of Atlan and defeat Orm, Nereus gave up on the plan and changed sides, allowing Zebel to reunite with Atlantis after the war. Just like with the Amazons, it's kinda tough to say how powerful the typical Atlantean actually is, but we know he's definitely superhuman to some degree, and is actually unique in that he can live on both water and land. Nudus Volko is the chief counselor to the throne of Atlantis, and secretly the mentor to Aquaman. He helped Arthur Curry and guided him down a journey alongside Mera to locate the Trident of Atlan, which allowed Aquaman to defeat his half-brother Ocean Master and usurp the throne, becoming the new king of Atlantis, with Volko definitely feeling proud of his protege. Volko is the one who taught Aquaman everything he knows, so you know he is exceptionally skilled. He might even rival Orm in skill. Volko also has some limited hydrokinesis and can manipulate the seawater around him. Adrian Chase is an enthusiastic and sadistic restaurant busboy who operates by night as the Ruthless Vigilante. He willingly joined up with the team to stop the butterflies on a world-saving mission, all so that he could form a bond with his idol Peacemaker and make some new friends along the way. Vigilante might be skinny, but he's got a solid frame, is pretty strong, and is remarkably tough. You might even think that he's got some sort of healing factor, a way that he can recover from some attacks. He's also a master fighter, being highly skilled in close combat, exceptionally good with knives and blades, and a very good shot. He just loves killing. Waylon Jones, also known as Killer Croc, is a skilled crocodile wrestler who also happened to be born with a genetic mutation which gave him crocodile skin, leading to his nickname. He eventually turned to crime and was chased out of Gotham City by Batman, only to be captured and recruited into Amanda Waller's Suicide Squad. Standing at 6'5" and weighing 360 pounds, Killer Croc is easily the physically strongest member of the Suicide Squad. You wouldn't be surprised if he could bench a pickup truck. He's superhumanly tough with his crocodile skin and fights like a wild animal, using his raw strength and power to beat most opponents. Floyd Lawton, also known as DEADSHOT, is an assassin and mercenary. After his capture by Batman, Lawton was imprisoned in Bel Rev, where he was later recruited by Amanda Waller to join the government-sanctioned Task Force X. He's the world's best marksman, and as his name implies, is almost superhumanly skilled when he has a gun in his hands. He's a highly capable fighter, both at a range and in close combat. It's said that he's never missed a shot before, and is always able to find his target. You could argue that he's one of the most dangerous humans on the planet Earth. Harley Quinn is a former psych intern, previously employed at Arkham Asylum, before she turned into a criminal, and is now the ex-girlfriend of the Joker. She's a world-class fighter, incredibly skilled and completely unpredictable, which is a very dangerous combination for anyone that she's fighting against. Harley's also a natural when it comes to gymnastics and acrobatics, and so when in a fight, she's constantly using her agility to her advantage. And oh yeah, don't let her get anywhere near the cocaine. Mongal was an alien warrior from the planet War World that was forced to be part of the initial Task Force X strike team sent to Corto Maltese. Upon reaching the island, Mongal accompanied her allies to confront Corto Maltese's soldiers, where she tried to attack a helicopter, but died in the process, accidentally killing Captain Boomerang as well. Mongal is definitely superhuman and exceptionally strong, but there's no point in being that strong if you can't follow orders or use your brain. Chris Smith, also known as the Peacemaker, is a violent vigilante who believes in achieving peace at any cost, no matter how many people he has to kill for it in the process. In his mission for global peace, Peacemaker had to achieve peak physical condition, specifically putting a lot of time into his small muscle groups. He's able to overpower pretty much every person he fights against. It's tough enough to survive being shot in the throat and then buried under a pile of rubble, and his big muscles don't even slow him down when it comes to speed. He's also a world-class marksman, one of the best hand-to-hand fighters on Earth, and anything in his hands instantly becomes a deadly weapon. His helmets are also each unique and come with their own special function, ranging from X-ray vision to creating sonic booms. Atlanta is the mother of both Aquaman and Ocean Master and the former Queen of Atlantis. Being a highborn, Atlanta is much more powerful than your average Atlantean, and she's able to easily plow through a whole squad of Atlantean warriors sent after her. She's a master of her trident and is an incredibly skilled warrior. Mara even said that it would have been Atlanta's responsibility to go after Steppenwolf when he stole the Mother Box, if she had still been around at the time. Maxine Hunkel is the granddaughter of Abigail Hunkel, the original Red Tornado, and is a metahuman herself, given the power to control the wind with her mind. She can create cyclones, whirlwinds, and tornadoes that she can hurl at enemies, and she's even so fine-tuned with her wind control that she can fly by manipulating the air around her. Chato Santana, also known as El Diablo, or Spanish for the Devil, was a former metahuman criminal and a member of Task Force X. Santana was seemingly born with his incredible pyrokinetic powers. However, he eventually lost control over them and accidentally killed his wife and both of his children, which devastated him and led to him willingly surrendering himself to the police. Because of this traumatic experience, he was initially reluctant to use his fire powers both out of guilt and fear, though he ultimately sacrificed his life in order to defeat Incubus and save the world from Enchantress. Abner Krill, also known as the Polka Dot Man, was a metahuman criminal who could grow multicolored polka dots from his body due to an interdimensional virus, and then weaponize them. He was also a member of the 2nd Task Force X strike team sent to Corto Maltese to destroy Project Starfish. Krill played an important role in the mission, and during the confrontation with Starro, was able to damage the alien creature, fulfilling his dream of becoming a superhero, right before he was crushed by Starro. Cleo Kazo, also known as Ratcatcher 2, is the daughter and protege of the original Ratcatcher. Under his guidance, she turned to a life of crime, while being aided by an army of small rats, which she can communicate with and control. After being arrested, she became a member of the 2nd Task Force X strike team sent to Corto Maltese, where she formed a close relationship with Bloodsport. Cleo played a major role in Starro's defeat by calling all the rats in the city to enter into the alien monster's eye and eat its organs, killing it. Robert Dubois, codenamed Bloodsport, is an assassin who was hired to kill Superman using a kryptonite bullet, but ultimately failed to do so. As a result, he was arrested and incarcerated in Bel Rev, and subsequently became a member and briefly the leader of the Task Force X team sent to Corto Maltese. As a military vet and assassin, Bloodsport is without a doubt one of the best fighters and marksmen on the planet. He also wears a highly advanced tactical suit while out on missions, which houses all of his weapons and gear inside of it, all stored in collapsible form. Bruce Wayne was a billionaire who became a vigilante known as Batman after the death of his parents, before retiring after Gotham was out of crime. In his retirement, Wayne was found by Barry Allen and his past self to ask for his help in their quest to stop General Zod. Batman agreed, helped Flash regain his powers, and joined them and Supergirl in forming a makeshift Justice League. Even in his old age, Batman is the pinnacle of physical potential. Incredibly strong, incredibly fast, and incredibly tough, even on top of his bulletproof armor. He might be the best fighter on his Earth, can take down armored men in an instant, and is no stranger to fighting against bigger and more powerful threats, even battling against Kryptonians. Bruce Wayne is the CEO of Wayne Enterprises and the Batman, a vigilante operating in Gotham City. After witnessing the murder of his parents at the hands of a mugger as a child, Bruce waged a war on crime in Gotham City for over 20 years before the Black Zero event, the moment the world was introduced to Superman. Since then, he's also served as the leader of the Justice League, which he co-founded alongside Wonder Woman. Batman, by all normal human standards, should be superhuman, as he way outclasses Olympic-level athletes and even other exceptionally fit people like DEADSHOT or Bloodsport. He's the world's greatest fighter, having over 20 years of combat experience in Gotham as he overpowered countless different criminals and supervillains. He's a master tactician, a master planner. He was even able to help fight Doomsday on the fly. He was able to come up with a plan to successfully defeat Superman. But while you could argue that he belonged in the top 10 on this list based on those feats, that's Batman with prep time. If you don't give him prep time, he's just the world's greatest human. And I think this is a solid place to put him, especially with everyone else still to come. Atlan was the great and powerful king of Atlantis, fighting against Darkseid alongside the rest of the Earth and wielding the Trident of Atlan, an extremely powerful weapon that allowed him to communicate with all marine life in the sea. Galen Gur was a member of the Intergalactic Green Lantern Corps, dying heroically in battle against Darkseid during the New Gods' first attempt to invade Earth. Mera was the daughter of King Nereus, the princess of Zebul, and a close ally and lover for Aquaman, the king of Atlantis. Mera is definitely superhumanly strong, fast, and tough, but her true power lies in her hydrokinesis. Mera is able to use Atlantean magic to control water all around her, create water constructs, manipulate any liquid really, and all this makes her extremely powerful and potentially very dangerous. Nanaue, also known as King Shark, is a metahuman criminal who is believed to be the descendant of an ancient shark god. While very sweet and endearing, he's a slow dolt who just wants people to think he's intelligent. Many dismiss him out of hand though as a savage mutation due to his taste for human meat and complete loss of self-control when he's hungry, even around his allies. He became part of the 2nd Task Force X strike team, and he is incredibly powerful, strong enough to rip a man in half or tough enough to survive crashing through buildings. He was the only one we've seen who's powerful enough to survive Starro's attacks. Harut was the son of Teth Adam, and after witnessing the injustices and suffering under the tyrant King Octoon, began to fight for justice. This attracted the attention of the Council of Wizards, who made him their champion by granting him powers. We don't know a ton about Harut or his time as the champion, but we do know that he was incredibly selfless, almost to a fault. He gave up his powers to his father in order to save his life, which ended up leading to Harut's own death. Inspired by his uncle and having trained to become a vigilante, Al Rothstein received his uncle's suit and inherited the mantle of Atom Smasher, a superhero with the power to increase his size. As Atom Smasher grows in size, he gains superhuman strength along with it, even able to knock out and overpower Black Adam himself for a second. He's also immensely tough and durable at this size, taking a punch from Black Adam to the face and surviving Black Adam's electrical explosion. Artemis is the daughter of Zeus and the goddess of the hunt, one of the most powerful Greek gods out there. Eugene is one of Billy's foster brothers, and as one of the champions of Shazam, he has basically all the same powers as Shazam, being especially skilled with lightning. Another one of Billy's foster brothers, Pedro, is a champion of Shazam and is the strong one out of the group, being the second strongest member of the family, only behind Billy himself. Darla is one of Billy's foster sisters and as a champion has the gift of remarkable speed, maybe to the point where she could rival Superman or even the Flash. Seriously, this girl is quick. Anthea is the third daughter of Atlas and the younger sister of Hespera and Calypso. Millennia after Atlas's death, Anthea and her sisters sought to recover their father's stamina from the Shazam family, or restore their home realm using the golden apple from Hera's sacred tree. But Calypso also secretly intended to terraform Earth with Shazam's magic staff. Anthea objected and turned against her sister, teaming up with the Shazam family instead. Anthea wields the primordial power of Axis, allowing her to become the center of the Earth's axis and manipulate the world and warp reality all around her. Freddie Freeman, also known as Captain Everypower, is a member of the Shazamily and Billy's best friend. Freddie has all the same powers similar to Billy, and is one of the more powerful members of the family, beginning to master his powers before everyone else. Mary is one of Billy's foster sisters, and as a champion, she has powers maybe even on par with Shazam himself. At the very least, she's definitely the wisest of the group, so at least she got all that wisdom of Solomon that Shazam seems to be lacking. Victor Stone is a former college athlete and football star. Following a horrific accident that resulted in the death of his mother, Victor was gravely injured and was extremely close to death. His father, Silas Stone, was able to save him via the use of a mother box that crafted cybernetics onto his body, managing to save his life but leaving him alone and detached from the rest of humanity. But eventually, Cyborg was able to find a new meaning in life, becoming a hero and a founding member of the Justice League. With his cybernetic body, Cyborg is superhumanly strong, fast, and tough. He can instantly create extremely powerful weapons, he can fly, and really manipulate his body at will. And as a technological being, he can control and interface with any and all technology, making him one of the most powerful and influential people on Earth. This Barry Allen was actually a past version of Barry Allen from an alternate universe, produced by Flash's time travel. Eventually, this Barry met the future version of himself, who helped him get his powers and become the Flash. After the arrival of General Zod, the two Flashes teamed up with Batman and Supergirl to stop Zod and his army, but without success, causing the Flash to try and go back in time to prevent the deaths of his friends. This Flash is much newer and more inexperienced with his powers, but with the older Flash as his mentor, he was able to quickly figure it out. Now, Flash can run faster than the speed of light, and is powerful enough to knock out Kryptonians, but he still lacks the experience and skills of the older Flash. John Jones, known by some as the Martian Manhunter, is an alien from Mars that eventually traveled to Earth, and while there posed as a lieutenant general in the US Army, keeping a watchful eye on his new planet from the shadows. Not much is known about this version of Martian Manhunter. In fact, he only makes it this high on the list off name power alone. But if he's anything like his comic book counterpart, he is a true powerhouse. Carter Hall is an archaeologist, a museum curator, and the leader of the Justice Society, known as the superhero Hawkman, living as a reincarnation of the Egyptian prince Khufu. Using a suit constructed entirely of the exotic material Nith metal, Carter Hall gains superhuman powers, super strength, super speed, and super durability that allowed him to battle against the fiercely powerful Black Adam. He's also a master fighter due to having years of experience. With his Nith metal, he's able to fly and create any weapon that he can think of. Kal-El, also known as Supergirl, was the cousin of Kal-El who was sent to Earth after the destruction of Krypton, only to be captured by the Soviet Union. She was kept in an old Russian base in Siberia, eventually being saved by the Flash, another Flash, and Batman. After recovering her powers, Kara decided to confront General Zod alone, and saw how the Kryptonian army slaughtered innocent soldiers. So she allied with the Flash, and Batman in order to fight Zod and his army, forming a makeshift Justice League. Supergirl's powers varied throughout the movie, mostly because it looked like she couldn't absorb a ton of yellow sun radiation for long, or ran through her power reserves very quickly. But still, Supergirl was able to hold her own and fight against General Zod, a version of Zod that was arguably amped and more powerful than the General Zod that Superman originally fought in Man of Steel. Arthur Curry is the King of Atlantis, the firstborn son of Queen Atlanna and the older brother of Ocean Master, and a member of the Justice League, as well as the superhero known to the world as the Aquaman. Being a highborn Atlantean, Aquaman is incredibly powerful. The only two members of the Justice League stronger than him are Superman and Wonder Woman. And that's just on land. Under the water, an Aquaman is basically, well, an underwater Superman. He's extremely fast and extremely tough, especially under the water. He's a highly skilled and world-class fighter with his trident, and that was all before he proved himself worthy of the Trident of Atlan. Now Aquaman can control all the marine life in the ocean, even the monstrous Karathin. Billy Batson, also known as the superhero Shazam, is a foster kid chosen by the wizard Shazam to be his final champion, granting him immense magical power from 6 legendary sources to help protect the entire world from the forces of evil. With this divine empowerment, Shazam is easily one of the most powerful heroes on Earth, and even worthy of being called a god. He may be even a true rival to Superman himself. However, the only thing holding Billy back is actually Billy himself. Shazam has the body of a hero and the mind of a kid. That's honestly not the best combination for a world-class, powerful hero. Diana of Themyscira is an Amazon warrior princess, one of the world's first superheroes, known as Wonder Woman. She's the daughter of Queen Hippolyta and Zeus, the king of the old gods, as well as a member and co-founder of the Justice League. As the hybrid child of an Amazon and an old god, Diana possesses incredible superhuman abilities, such as inhuman strength, durability, and speed. She's powerful enough to battle against Superman, against Doomsday, against Ares, and against Steppenwolf. And even though she might not be as innately powerful as any of those characters, she gets by on her incredible skill and magical godly weapons. And plus, Wonder Woman is a god. It's not like she's lacking in the power department. The Karathin is a colossal, sentient, ancient sea creature, one of the most powerful beings on Earth. She has guarded the Trident of Atlan in the hidden sea for a millennia, and later assisted Aquaman with his mission to prevent war between the surface world and the sea, fighting on his side against his half-brother Orm in the War for Atlantis. The Karathin is over 2 miles long and insanely powerful, able to easily overpower Aquaman and even take on the whole Atlantean army by herself. There's no question that this sea monster is one of the most powerful creatures on the planet, able to give even Doomsday, maybe even Superman, a run for their money. Kent Nelson was one of the founding members of the Justice Society. With his magical abilities and the Helmet of Fate, he used to transform into the powerful mystical sorcerer known as Dr. Fate, the most powerful sorcerer in the world. He's able to create magical energy constructs at will, fire powerful beams of energy, or create energy shields. He can teleport or project himself into the astral plane. He can see into the future and is constantly duplicating himself during a battle. So you're not just fighting against one Dr. Fate, but hundreds of them. On top of that, as if that wasn't enough, Fate is also extremely physically powerful, strong enough to even challenge Black Adam. Flash's primary power is obviously his superhuman speed. He's the fastest man alive. He's so fast that he can run faster than the eye can see. He can move through cities or across the country in an instant, or even slow time down to a crawl. The world is frozen all around him. People become like statues, and Flash is able to live and operate in this space between time. Now, Flash's speed definitely does vary. He's not constantly going all out or moving at top speed in order to try and preserve energy. But when he's operating at his best, Barry is able to move at the speed of light, arguably much faster than light speed. And as Flash moves way beyond the speed of light, he's able to go back in time, using this ability to rewrite history. Teth Adam is a former champion of the Council of Wizards, using his power to slaughter the King's Court and nearly destroy Kahndaq itself. This led to him facing down with the Council of Wizards, and he nearly killed all of them, except for Shazam, who imprisoned him. But now, after 5,000 years, Black Adam has been freed, and he's arguably the most powerful being alive, a rival to Superman himself. Black Adam has been infused with the power of the gods, to the point where the Justice Society combined couldn't take him down, and he could defeat all of them. He was able to kill the Demon Lord Sabbac. He can throw powerful lightning bolts around and is totally willing to kill. With power and brutality like that, it forced Amanda Waller to send in Superman to try and confront him. Born Kal-El of Krypton, Superman was the first natural birth on Krypton in hundreds of years. Sent to Earth by his father, Superman would grow up in Kansas, raised by Martha and John Kent. Given powers by the Earth's yellow sun and atmosphere, Clark Kent grew up afraid of what others would think of his powers. But he eventually found a Kryptonian scout ship and accidentally allowed General Zod to come to Earth. On his very first day as Superman, Kal had to fight a Kryptonian invasion that cost the lives of thousands. Afterwards, he worked as a force of good in order to protect others, saving the Earth more times than you can count. Superman has been absorbing the yellow sun radiation since he was a baby, making him more powerful than any other Kryptonian we've ever seen. He fought and beat General Zod. He killed Doomsday. When he came back to life, well, he was able to solo the Justice League and beat Steppenwolf, doing all of that with ease. Zeus was the king of the old gods. Worshipped by the Amazons, the ancient Greeks and Romans, he is the father of numerous children, which include the fearsome god of war Ares, the goddess of the hunt Artemis, as well as the heroic demigod Wonder Woman. When all the other gods were killed by Ares, Zeus fought and was able to defeat and grievously injure Ares before using the last of his power to create an island called Themyscira, where the Amazons could live hidden from humanity and Ares. Despite his death, his legacy lives on both through his daughter Diana and through the powers of the wizard Shazam and his champions, who are able to harness some of Zeus's power for their own use. So what makes Zeus claim the top spot, and how is he more powerful than like Superman or Black Adam or even Wonder Woman or Shazam? Well, for starters, Diana and Billy are only operating with a fraction of Zeus's true power. And even Superman himself can't rival Zeus. And that while they were both able to destroy mother boxes, Zeus was able to do it much easier and much quicker. I don't think there's much debate here. Zeus is truly the ultimate powerhouse and the ultimate hero in the DCEU. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.